I wonder if I'm going the right way. Is that berry edible? Today's book for review, Survive Any Situation by John Wiseman. You can find this book online or at your local bookstore. Let's take a quick look at it together. Alright, Pheasant815 here with the Survive Any Situation, Revised Edition Survival Handbook for any climate or any situation. A quite long title, but this is by John Wiseman. It's a little over-shoulder review here. What I like about this, aside from it being paperback and having color illustrations and other illustrations and diagrams to really make clear what he's talking about, to really show what he's showing you visually as well as with the words, is that the book is laid out rather nicely. Here's a good shot of the colored pages. It's arranged really systematically to go right from topic to topic. At the beginning of each chapter, this is chapter 4 for example, it's talking about food, and it's got a little table of contents again in this chapter, so you can quick reference, okay, fungi, you can look at nuts, fruit, animals, seashells, seaweed. You can kind of have a quick reference to quick turn to that page as well. And then I'll get to this in a second. But there's a lot of strengths to this book. I really enjoy it. I find it to be a good preparatory survival book. There's some things I differ with him on. I think we have that about any book, about any topic we have, or we're going to have some disagreements, of course. Here's chapter 2 on strategy. Talk about car accidents versus disasters in the air, different strategies. There's a nice little bit in the beginning about why one would prepare for any situation and what the importance of that is. Two areas I take a little bit of exception would be one on the knives section for survival knives. He is a big fan of wooden handle knives over any other handle. His reasoning is they're a little bit more give, they're a little more comfortable in the hand. He's got some other reasonings, but those are the two that I pick up as his main. I would agree with that if knife technology has it continued to get better and better. Some of the new plastic handles are just so much harder than any wood it could ever be. They're not at all affected by moisture, and they do offer a better gripping surface to the hand than wood. So although the look of wooden handles, I agree, would be much more aesthetically pleasing, I believe plastic technology, these high resin plastics and something like the G10 plastics, really work great. They're great grips, they're very strong. And just like, for example, a steel frame knife with a frame hand that is metal, I don't feel is too slick. Now if my hands were wet or soaked in blood, okay, I'll give you that. But some of the new plastics I feel are vastly superior than the wood. But that's my opinion, and I haven't written a book, so. The other thing is when it comes to first aid for someone who's not breathing. This would be on page 401. Not breathing and no pulse. And this whole section really. I use the combination of the American Red Cross and the American Heart Association's methods for CPR.
And we go CAB now, so ABC, so airway breathing compressions. It's compressions, airway breathing. That you right away, you make sure the person does have an unobstructed airway, but then you start with compressions as the main focus, getting that blood flowing through the body, and then going to the airway, and trying to make sure there's air going to the brain, to establish the heart going, and then try to get the breathing going back. But that's poorly explained, so don't use that as your instructions to do it. But 3 years ago I was certified by the American Red Cross, and this last year I just got certified by the American Heart Association method, which doesn't say you have to do rescue breaths, but that they're an option. For me, if I'm going to save someone's life, I'm going to get down and dirty enough to save their life. And if that means they puke on me, that means they puke on me, but I'm going to give them rescue breaths.
That's getting a way too tangent. I'm really trying to focus on this book. those are just 2 points I differ on than him, as his methods for doing that. Otherwise, there's stuff like, for example, here on the move on page 376, 377, there's some nice examples of how to make travel packs out of just sticks, how to do a number of things that are very reminiscent of my old Boy Scout handbook, which I do recommend. If you find one of those at a used bookstore, get a Boy Scout manual. Those are very helpful. They don't get as nitty-gritty as something like this. This is all survival type stuff. So anyway, I've been reading this. I find it very both entertaining, which it's nothing wrong with finding something entertaining, but also educational. And when you do find a book like this, and you do find stuff you disagree with, that's fine, but go ahead and research your case. Make an effort to really find out, why don't you go with that person's method? Why do you go with another method? And make it your own. Really, any book is just a starting point for you to build your own procedure. A book can tell you any number of things to do, but really what really counts is what you are actually going to do. And one would like to think you have the reasoning behind it to make it effective. Anyway, I do recommend this book. You can get it on Amazon for dirt cheap. I think the price back here is $19.99 on the back cover. From Amazon, you can get it cheaper, of course. You can find it on sales in a number of places. They update this thing pretty frequently. So some books like this, they update pretty frequently, I should say. So I won't be surprised if it has an updated edition. This is the revised edition of it, I should note. But there's a whole series of books like this. I think it's worth checking out. It's worth the money, worth your energy to read. I find it to be a good bedside table book. And when I'm waiting in airports, I think this is the time to really catch up the most on my reading. But this is just a quick once-over of the book. If you have any questions about it, I'd love to answer that. I'm not an expert in all things. That's why I've got books like this. But just to show you some of the pictures there, how he shows the detail work. I like these simple pictures. I think they work better than an actual photograph. Just to show a picture of something. Gets more simplistic to the basic parts of it. But hope you enjoyed this quick overview. And if you have any books that you really like for survival situations, for hunting, camping, just staying up and at 'em, go ahead and put those in the comments below. We do appreciate the community sharing that with each other. Thanks. Have a great day. Pheasant 815 out.